We are looking at question 3 on free response 2. And in this question, we have a company that is a profit-maximizing shirt manufacturing firm. And we know that the firm can sell all the shirts it can produce to retailers at a price of $20 each. And it can hire workers at the market wage of $120 per day. And the table right here shows the firm's short-run production function. So we have the number of workers here. So it looks like that for every row we're adding one worker, and then we have the number of the shirts or the marginal product here. Well, actually, this is the total product. We're going to compute marginal product from the totals here. Okay, so question A, what kind of market structure does this firm sell as output? How can you tell? Well, you know that we're in a perfectly competitive market and firm. The big hint is that the price is constant. So for the firm, the price line is going to be a horizontal curve, which is the demand line and the price line and the marginal revenue line and the average revenue. It's all one horizontal line at the $20 mark right here. So if we were to look at that graph, and I can pull that up, actually not here, no, that's the other one. Let me just jump back up here. Yeah, right here, this price in the firm is going to be at $20, and that comes from the market, okay? Also, so we know that that's the main part of your answer, that they're a price taker. It's also worth pointing out that according to the problem, the wage is also the same. I mean, they're taking the wage from the wage market. It's set at $120 a day. So that means that they're also in a perfectly competitive wage market as well. They're wage and price takers, okay? So, which is the answer to a B, actually. And what kind of a market structure does this firm hire its workers? Well, that's going to be in a perfectly competitive wage market, and that's the once again that's because the wage is set by the market at $120 per day. Okay. Part C, calculate the marginal revenue product of the third worker and show your work. Well, what I've done is I have actually calculated them all right here. So you can just show that for the third worker, you can show that the marginal product going from the worker 2 to worker 3 is 20, because the difference between a 25 and a 45 is 20. So the marginal product, so that third worker is able to add 20 shirts to the production, and those shirts are sold at $20 per shirt per unit. So 20 times 20 gives you the marginal revenue product of $400. And I've calculated all of them. So you see that the marginal revenue product curve is downward sloping. And if you look at your graph, not your graph, but your handout that I keep talking about here, right here, you'll find this graph that I've copied and added to right here, and you can see that in a perfectly competitive wage market, the wage demand is the same as the marginal revenue product curve, which is downward sloping. So we can say this is a 200 up here and 60 down here, and the wage here set in the market is, let's jump back over here, 120, right? So that's why I put that in here. So this is the graphic representation of the problem. Now, you don't have to draw this. It would help. It would not hurt at all. I mean, the graders of the AP exam would be very impressed if you drew this. The problem doesn't ask you to draw it, so you don't have to, but it would certainly not hurt. And it would help you make sure that you were able to arrive at the correct answers. So if we look here, we can answer, well, if we look here, let's just do part of the, how many workers should the firm hire to maximize a profit? Well, we know that they're going to hire up to a point where marginal revenue product equals the wage rate. So that's what we know. So if we jump back over here to our table, we know that the wage is 120. So there's no point exactly where a wage equals marginal revenue product, but we're certainly not going to hire past that, right? So what this would look like on the graph is you would say, well, this point right here is 6 workers, where the marginal revenue product is above wage. So this point right here would be like 160, right? And the 7th worker puts this way down here, where the marginal revenue product is below wage. So this point right here would be 100. So you would not hire 7, you would only hire 6, because 7 would mean that your marginal revenue product was less than the wage, and you would never do that if your intent was to maximize profit. And I don't think it's going to be really possible to hire 6.5 workers, although you could make the argument that you could hire one part-time worker, maybe to work half a day or something. But that's getting a little bit too complex for the problem. You just need to answer this by saying that they would hire 6 workers, because you do not want to hire past the point where a marginal revenue product is either greater than or equal to wage. So if this calculation gave us 120, that would be perfect. Or if this gave us 120, we would go ahead and hire 7, but it does not. Our calculations give us something above the wage and something below the wage. So we want to make sure that we hire where we're producing our marginal production is higher than the wage. Okay, so you say 6. And once again, if you draw this graph and label it like I have, you will score high points for sure. Okay. Now I just put these numbers in here. 6, which matches up 6 workers with a marginal revenue product of 160. So these numbers right here are the number of workers, not the marginal product. So don't get that confused. Okay, what you have in this graph on the x-axis is your quantity of workers hired, right? So if you jump back over real quick to the graph, it probably explains that. But let me just flow down here and see if it does. I would hope it does anyway. Yeah. So this one on your handout shows the market and the firm, and it's very likely on your AP exam that they'll ask you to draw both. So make sure you really understand these, okay? And quantity QC, that's going to be the quantity that's competitive, I think. I think that small c stands for competitive, right? So, but you can label it however way works for you, okay? So make sure, once again, I encourage you to look at this handout pretty much every day for maybe 5 minutes, so that you really not memorize these graphs, but know these graphs, okay? And that does it for your free response to homework. And as always, that's it. And as always, don't ever hesitate to email me if you have any questions about any of this, okay?